Hello, everyone. Dr. Ames here. This time I'd like to talk to you about the four functions of management. Everything that managers do fall into one of these categories. The only difference from the labels here in fundamentals of management, we call the upper left one planning and decision making. But other than that, this is something that we got from the theorist Henry Fayol, the turn of the 20th century. He was a Frenchman who died before his books became famous, before they were translated from French into English, and so forth. And originally, he had more than four functions, and he had also lists of skills and particular things that managers ought to have, and so forth. So, even after all this time, we still are beholding to Henry Fayol for giving us this foundation of today's modern management theory. So everything that we do, all our work happens somewhere in these sorts of areas. Um, let's take a look at some of the details. When we're doing our planning and decision making, we are really setting goals. That's how American culture and American business works. We set goals. The goals, when we accomplish them, lead to bigger goals. And we have those set into the future to accomplish the mission and achieve those things that we're in business for, and so forth. In order to accomplish that, you've got to make a strategy and you've got to strategize and think conceptually. What do I need to do to get there? And so there's planning and decision making at all levels of management. And you, particularly when you plan, have to determine all the resources that you need. And just think how vast a task that can be, because you have human resources, you have physical resources, you have informational, and you have financial resources. And then you have to set standards when you do plan and when you set goals. Um, exactly what are you trying to achieve and how fast and so forth. Leading is a little bit different. Leading, um, most managers can be just managers and master the routine and get all the work done and keep everybody on track if that's what you choose to do. But it's called leading in this category for a reason. And the idea is that managers ought to go beyond just being a simple manager of events and, in fact, lead people. And if you're going to do that, then you're going to be able to motivate and inspire people to go above and beyond what they would normally do. So here are some of the routine things that leaders do, in particular leaders or managers, depending on the role in any given moment. You're explaining how to do things, you're clarifying, you're giving the details, you're assigning the work, you're delegating the work, and so forth, and you're letting people know how they're doing. And hopefully, you've adopted a leadership style that works for you and causes people to feel good when you give them tasks to do, and that they feel competent, and that indeed they like working with you, because this is really important to getting the work of any given company done. What are your working relationships like? Can you empower and engage with people? And the third one that we do as managers really is we organize things. And this is everything in the beginning in particular. We decide when we're forming a company, what jobs do we need? Uh, what departments do those jobs belong in? How many employees do we need? What is the level of work? What is the level of skill needed for each of those jobs and each of those sorts of endeavors? So you begin organizing by allocating your resources, seeing what you have and what you need, and establishing procedures to get that done and getting the work done, and so forth. So you indeed begin to draw up the physical manifestations of here is what we are. And you can use a organizational chart if you want. It shows a layout on paper of the different departments. You can put your managerial structure in that, who reports to who, and so forth. Very clear lines of authority and responsibility are established that way. That's all part of the organizing function that managers have to do. And in fact, you have to go beyond that, because once you determine all of this information and the sorts of employees and types of jobs you need and the skills they should have, you've got to go out and you've got to recruit them. And you recruit them means you've got to have some sort of promotion to find contact with them and get them, whether you do it yourself or whether you hire another company. And then you have, from that pool that you amass, you have to select some to interview and to take to the next level. And then at some point, you will hire people. And once you hire them, then the real fun begins, because then you get to train and develop them and work with them over time. This is a little bit of bleed over you can see with what you might do as a leader as well. And so there is some, I would say fuzziness in the boundaries of each of these four functions, because at any given moment, you're going to need to be exhibiting some sort of leadership or role modeling skills in order to facilitate getting things done more efficiently and so forth. And so you'll know where to put people, where they will be the most use, where they're going to be effective, right? So controlling is not about a physical controlling. It is indeed about um, getting the information you need and then using that information, analyzing it to either make a change or say, this tells me that we're right on track. We'll maintain the status quo. So it's either that you alter the current strategy a little bit, tweak something, fix something that's a little off, take care of the problem, or do nothing because things are going smooth. What you don't want to happen is that third choice where you get enough information that's so negative that you realize your plan is really not working at all and you have to start over. But controlling basically happens at all stages of your processes. It happens with every single thing that you do in all four functions, really. You're gathering information and you're analyzing. Did I make the right decision? Did I pay the right price? Did I get the best quality? Was the timeliness of the whole thing good? And so forth. And so um, you also have to use that information with how you handle people. And certainly that means that you have to be ready to reward that outstanding performance. And you have to take action when things aren't quite like you would like them to be. But it really does mean not just gathering information, but also working with people so that they want to give you actionable information to use. Okay, folks, that's all I want to talk about this time. I'll talk to you again soon.